わ皆さんこんにちは、エリです。いつものチャンネルを見てくれてありがとうございます。Don't worry, I won't be speaking in Japanese today because we would need to be here for a long time. Today, I'm gonna be shooting in my room. Welcome! Because the current situation in Tokyo is getting a little bit more serious than before. The number of infected people is rising, so I won't be going anywhere today. I think this is a perfect opportunity to have a conversation about English today. I have been working as a teacher, as an English instructor in Tokyo for 6 months. I am not a native speaker. I come from Slovakia, where English is not the official language. Our official language is Slovak, but I have lived abroad for 9 years now. I would like to say that I do make mistakes sometimes in English. Totally human to make mistakes. Even a native speaker makes mistakes in their mother tongue. Although I realize that in Japan, many people are kind of scared of making a mistake, especially when speaking English. In the class, I've experienced that some students would rather just spend 5 minutes thinking about that one exact word rather than try to use simpler words to describe it. Anyways, before I get into this video, a long time ago I said that I would be choosing 3 of my favorite comments from the past video. In this case, it's Kamakura video, so make sure to watch it if you haven't yet. And right here I'll be sharing some of my favorite comments from the video. Thank you very much for your participation, and I look forward to reading your comments on this video. I prepared 15 common mistakes that Japanese people make when speaking English. 5 of them are grammar mistakes, another 5 pronunciation mistakes, and the last 5 will be words that Japanese people use wrong. Let's get to it. We're gonna start with grammar mistakes. The most common mistake that every single person makes is using the wrong gender pronouns. He versus she. Sometimes when my students speak, I have no idea whether we are talking about a girl or whether we are talking about a boy, because the he and she are just mixed up all together. Make sure to remember this because it can create a lot of confusion. Another very common mistake is the verb agreement with the subject. For example, don't versus doesn't. He don't go to school instead of he doesn't go to school, right? And many people make this mistake. Unfortunately, it's only I, you, we, they that use don't, and it's he, she, it that use doesn't. Third common mistake that I keep on hearing in my classes is people is instead of people are. People is a plural of a singular noun person. So we have one person and we have 2 people. A person is standing over there versus 2 people are standing over there. Mistake number 4 is related to ed and ing endings in adjectives. Sometimes I would have a student that comes and would say, oh, I went to the party. And I would be like, wow, how was it? And then they would go,
I was so boring.
So you're feeling bored when something is boring. You don't want to be boring at a party. That's the last thing you want. The last mistake is related to sports. And they would say, oh, I play skiing. You cannot play skiing. We say to play volleyball, you play basketball, you play soccer, you play football. Kind of the rule of thumb is that you use to play sports when it's a sport that involves an actual ball. Basketball, volleyball, football, badminton, damn it. That kind of looks like a ball. Anyways, you use to go when it's a sport that ends in ing. Skiing, swimming, running, hiking. And we have the to do sports, which we use when we actually don't use any equipment to do that specific sport, like karate or kung fu or yoga. Pronunciation mistakes that can sometimes turn out to be quite serious. First pronunciation mistake that happens very often is desert and dessert. One of them is food and one of them is a place full of sand. Guess which one? Dessert, desert.
Dessert. Dessert.
Okay.
Desert. Desert.
This is actually, pointing out this mistake is not to make fun of anyone, is to kind of help them avoid uncomfortable situations with other foreigners that might find it amusing. And that is a difference between the pronunciation of sit and shit. So it's hard to react in that moment because on the one hand I really want to correct this pronunciation mistake to help them avoid saying it in the future, but on the other hand I might make them feel a bit uncomfortable because then you kind of tell them like, oh, you pronounce sit as shit. When this happens, I just make them imitate the snake sound like s for a while. Very, very uncomfortable one. Another one, pufferfish. Pufferfish. I think there's just a lot of F sound. Many people struggle with it. Next word is comfortable. There are just so many letters in this word. Why do we skip like half of them when pronouncing it, right? It doesn't make any sense. Comfortable. 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 And then we have the last one, fifth one, my favorite one. It doesn't happen very often, but it's like so precious. Discussing versus disgusting. So it happened, I think last week, that my student was saying, they were disgusting, instead of they were discussing about something. And I thought it was so hilarious. He knew the difference between disgusting and discussing, but it just happened in that moment that he said they were disgusting. Now we come to the words that Japanese use wrong, or Japanglish. I would like to start with the word note PC. I think it's easy to imagine what it is, but I just find it very cute that they're using note PC to refer to a laptop. And I believe it's because in Japanese they say note pasokon. So they just kind of like try to make it sound more English and they say note PC instead of a laptop. And another one is a word mention. So when somebody tells me about their mansion and they invite me to their mansion, I imagine that I'm gonna visit a wonderful fancy schmancy place, but then it just turns out to be a regular apartment. Then there is a word that you probably heard about, and that is tension. So in Japanese, tension agaru refers to excitement, like there was so much high tension. When there is tension, you feel kind of stressed and under pressure. Tension or high tension, as Japanese very often say, means high voltage. Not a good word to use to describe excitement. Another one, I've just discovered this recently, and that is using word smart to describe someone's body figure as thin. You're super skinny, they would say you look smart. And that's actually only 4. Oh my god, what was my 5th one? Makes me hard. The 5th one, well, it's not really a word, it's more like a sentence, and I've heard it last time in my class, and it made me giggle a little bit because one of the students said, the student was describing like a very difficult situation that made him feel kind of sad, somehow stressed, and he described it as feeling hard. So he said, it makes me hard. I shouldn't laugh about this. Actually, the sentence, it makes me hard, it has a very different meaning. It's not a situation when you feel sad, it's not a situation when you feel stressed. It's actually kind of a slang, or it's like another way of saying that, I don't know if I should say this. It's a situation when you get a boner, actually. So that makes me hard is basically saying that you got an erection. So unless you did, don't use this phrase to describe challenging event in your life. Oh my god. Anyways, I also have a question for you. What are some embarrassing stories of you making a mistake in English? The most embarrassing moment when learning English happened when I was studying in the USA as an exchange student, and we were writing notes in the class and I needed to erase something from my notes, so I went to my teacher and I asked for a rubber. And as soon as I said it, my entire class just started laughing like crazy, and my teacher just gasped and turned completely red, couldn't even speak for like 10 seconds. It turns out that a rubber actually means a condom, not an eraser. So yeah, that was quite embarrassing, but you know, mistakes happened and they will always happen. So instead of being embarrassed about it and beating yourself up because you made a mistake, try to see it as an opportunity to learn and just have a good laugh about it. Because at the end of the day, it's not a big deal. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you could learn something new today, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Bye bye!